It's the first week of September and football season has begun. The Eagles kicked off their first regular season game against Naaman Forest. This was the Eagles' first game as a 6A team. Lady Eagles volleyball has continued to dominate foe after foe as they have started their 6A campaign. How did Prosper football and volleyball fare this past week? All this and more on Game Time.
We finna be on. Grind until dawn. Game Time.
Welcome back to Game Time. Today is Friday, September 7th. I'm Brandon Brandvold, and alongside me for the first episode of Game Time Season 2 is Jesse Eckstein, Gabby Mahan, and Goel Yongo.
Today we're going to kick it right into volleyball highlights from this past week.
Volleyball was back in action in the Eagles' nest this past week with a matchup against rival Lovejoy. Starting off the game, the Eagles dropped the first set 17-25 after a hard-fought match. Following the loss, the Eagles stormed back, taking both of the next two sets 25-22. In the end, Prosper was able to prevail, winning the matchup 3-2 thanks to 26 digs from Kayla Martin, 70 assists from Maddie Whitmire, and an overall great team performance. On Tuesday, the Eagles maintained their home field advantage with a matchup against J.J. Pierce. The Eagles swept the Mustangs in 3 sets in a dominating performance. Sierra Heck led the way with 11 kills and 9 digs. The Eagles face off against McKinney High tonight at 5:30 in the Eagles' nest.
When we come back, Maggie Hill will report on her experience behind the scenes at the TCU game.
Okay, it's rap packed to my pulse flat. We keep it real, no false rap. I got 4 cars and they all black. Got 4 bras and they all that. We call that ballin'. Doing this is my calling. Flow is so appalling. My phone off and she calling. I'm like, yeah, what it do? Penthouse, man, what a view. Fall back cause I'm coming through with my whole team. They coming too, that's real.
Now we send it over to Maggie Hill at the TCU Stadium.
I'm here bright and early at TCU's Amon G. Carter Stadium. Fans have waited 246 days to be back at the Carter. And today at 11 a.m., the Frogs will be taking on Southern University to kick off the season.
Just past Gate 5 of Amon G. Carter Stadium, there's an elevator for media personnel only. This elevator will take you all the way up to the Dan Jenkins press box.
We're 30 minutes away from kickoff. The fans are packing the stands, the players are getting ready in the locker room, and everyone up here in the press box is working to bring the college game day experience to your home.
Up in the press box, journalists and sports broadcasters from both TCU and Southern University gather here to report on the game. Analysts are documenting the stats that reporters and journalists will be using later on in their reports and their questions. On the field, cameramen record the game for their network. Sideline reporters actively watch the game so that they're able to come up with questions for halftime and post-game interviews. The 4-7s room is where everyone meets for the post-game press conference. While Coach Gary Patterson is asked about his players are asked about their performance and what they're going to do this week to ensure a win for the Frogs next weekend.
Whether you're a coach, a player, or a fan, football season is officially upon us. For Game Time, I'm Maggie Hale, Prosper.
Thank you, Maggie. Looks like great things are happening for TCU football. And speaking of football, let's take a look at last Saturday's football highlights.
Prosper Eagles blew past their first game, starting off their 6A season 1-0. Starting off the game, Wayne Anderson ran the ball in at the goal line for the first touchdown of the season. Prosper's first defensive play was a tackle by Jack Peterson. At the end of the first quarter, Naaman Forest fumbles the ball at the 18-yard line and is recovered by Cody Gallegos. Touchdown Eagles. Cade York had an amazing field goal performance, only missing one of his 7 extra point attempts. Naaman Forest put up a strong 14 points, but it wasn't enough to beat Prosper's whopping 48. Their next opponents will be Keller Timber Creek at the Keller ISD Stadium at 7 p.m. Friday, September 7th.
A 48-14 win is definitely a great way to kick off their 6A campaign. Up next, Caleb Delaney has your Player of the Week. We'll be right back.
If you are interested in joining HOSA, fees are due by September 7th. Applications for NSSHS are due by October 12th. If you were unable to attend the talent show meeting, please see Ms. Mueller for an audition time. Mu Alpha Theta applications are now being accepted through Monday, September 17th. Please return any completed applications to Miss Wood in room 1132. Support the Prosper High School tennis team by ordering custom homecoming mums and garters from the Mum Shop. Orders must be placed by Friday, September 14th to be delivered to the high school.
Next up, Caleb Delaney has your Player of the Week.
Hi, I'm Caleb Delaney with your Player of the Week. Today's Player of the Week is Kayla Martin. Kayla, with multiple key digs and an amazing overall performance, what was your mindset going into tonight's game?
We knew we had to come out strong. It's a really good team. Lovejoy, they're ranked #1 in 5A, and we did. Coming off of the first set with that loss, it was hard to recover, but we did won the next two. Losing the fourth, we knew we had to come into the fifth strong, and we finished really strong. I'm really proud of us.
So with this new 6A district, I mean, how is that shaping your new season and how hard you're working?
Yeah, every practice is going to be difficult because we know every game will be. So it's not going to be an easy district like last year. Every game is going to be a battle. So we're going to be ready to fight.
All right. And so how do you plan to keep winning, keep this winning streak going on?
Just like what we did tonight, even though we lost that first set, we knew we could come back. So we can't get defeated. So as long as we don't do that, I think we'll be really good.
All right. Congratulations again on Player of the Week. For Game Time and next Player of the Week, I'm Caleb Delaney.
Thank you, Caleb. Now that the NFL regular season has begun, it's time for us here to make our way too early Super Bowl 53 predictions. So guys, what are your predictions for this upcoming season?
I got the LA Rams with multiple key acquisitions in this offseason, like Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters. They just bolstered that defense, and in addition to that #1 offense from last season, I think they're primed for a big season.
Yeah, they still got Todd Gurley. He's looking good. Just saying, I have him on 2 of my fantasy leagues. Good things happening with him.
Well, okay, y'all know how to go with the Seahawks.
Oh,
and it is my team, but that's not the reason that I'm picking them. I think that we're stacked not only on offense this year, but we have very skilled players on defense as well, with players like Russell Wilson, Earl Thomas, Shaquille Griffin, which is the rookie that everyone has really high hopes for.
My question is, who are they throwing to, though?
Doug Baldwin.
Besides Baldwin, they don't really have anyone with that chemistry with Russell Wilson. I feel like all these new kids to the franchise might not work out so well.
Yeah, I think he needs more assets.
He definitely needs more assets. But
I don't know, guys. What do you think, Noah?
I'm going with Cowboys.
No. Well, I thought we lost Seth Golden.
No, I got to rep the hometown, and
Cowboys.
We really are gonna do great this year because our progress for starting in this league when we got Dak and Zeke going on, I think we're going to go all the way.
I'm going to have to disagree. I think they're going to have another 8-8 season.
I could definitely
I see that.
Another 8-8 season.
I see that.
But like I said earlier, it is quite early to be making Super Bowl predictions, so I can't roast on you too hard right now, Goel. But we'll for sure be watching to see how this season goes. Before we sign off today, let's look at the results for this year's Homecoming Court. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for you here today. Stay tuned for next week as we will recap this week's game against Timber Creek. For Game Time, I'm Braden Brandvold.
I'm Jesse Eckstein.
I'm Gabby Mahan.
And I'm Goa Yongo. If you can't make it to the game tonight, it will be broadcasting on TXA 21 tonight at 10:30.